Oh, hey. How long have you been there? I'm embarrassed. I was just thinking. I'm at my parents' house. You know, I have God, right? That's like what this whole thing is about. And I have peace, right? Does that make me a perfect man? There is no perfection except in the unity of people, which is the body of Christ. There is no perfection except in the unity of multiple people. I'm not a perfect man. I'm a wretched sinner. You know, I'm good at not reacting. I'm good at understanding. Until I do react and I don't understand. And this is just part of being a man. Or a woman. It's harder for women. They're not as logical as we are. That's why it's important for men to get a grip, so that they can lead their wives and their sisters and their mothers. I don't know. I don't know. So there's some things I just don't know. I don't understand. You know, I have a pretty good relationship with my wife. Until I don't, you know, there's peace. And then because there's just so many little things in life, and anxiety takes root in her. And she don't understand me. When she gets emotional, I'll just be straight with you, like, it's hard to talk about. But my wife has been anxious and she's been troubled. And I'm not able to comfort her. And I don't know why. And I'm giving her some space. I'm going to come spend the night with my parents. I can only do what I'm trying to be logical. She tells me she needs space. Leave her alone. And then she says, I just need you to comfort me. And I go to comfort her. And then she rejects me. And this is women. Women are confusing. So I'm at my parents' house and they're going out to have a drink. And I don't get offended by things, generally speaking, but I'm really offended by that. Let me tell you a little bit about Jared and me. I'm 6 years older than him. When I was growing up, as my dad put it, he had two loud sons. And so he'd work all day and then he'd go to the bar. He'd come home at night and go to sleep and wake up and go to work and get off and go to the bar. And I never saw my dad. Not a lot. For my whole life. He didn't raise me. He was present. And he would say, there's not a handbook on how to... Yeah, there is. It's on your heart. But if you're drunk, you can't read it. And my mom would start having anxiety. And she'd start panicking because her husband's never around. He's always off somewhere. And she's getting suspicious that he's cheating. And she's running around, going between bars, trying to find him. I love you back. Be safe. I love you. They're leaving. So my mom would go looking for my dad, find him at a bar, raise hell. He'd come home with her, do it again the next day. And then one day, it ceased to be a problem. He'd come pick her up and they'd go to the bar together. So, I get off of school, play with my friends. My parents were never home. Just me and my little brother. And then one day we moved away from Terrytown. And we went to Marrero. All my friends, my whole life was in Terrytown. After Katrina, because Katrina just ruined everyone's lives. Hey, Bart. This is Bart'll do. I was telling him about Jared and me. Wanna lay down, baby? Come lay down. Lay down, baby. So, whenever we went to Marrero, nothing changed except that now I was alone. I didn't have friends to play with. They left their 13, 14-year-old son alone with his 7, 8-year-old brother. And they just went drinking. All they did was drink. All they did was go to the bar. I'm going through puberty. At this point, I've had anxiety for, I don't know, 7 years. And they had no idea. They knew that there was something was wrong with me, I guess. But I was like involuntarily mute when I was young. I was just terrified. I was always terrified. When I was 12, my cousin that I looked up to, he dared me to try on his sister's panties. And I did. And he went and told my mom, and then she beat the hell out of me. That was traumatizing. And that was, and then that was confusing. And then I started cross-dressing, and I cross-dressed for the next 11 years. 5 of them, I was a woman. But going back to when I was a teenager, going through puberty, it was excruciating. I had all these emotions that I didn't understand. All of them mingled with fear and guilt. My parents were at the bar. Bart, baby, you were so loud. Would I eat your bone? Whenever we would ride in the car together, I mean, it was always arguing. We were always arguing. It was nothing but arguing at all times. And my parents were mean. Always. They did everything wrong. And my mom didn't have a head. She was a headless woman. Because my dad was supposed to be her head. And how I abused my brother. I would just torment him. And I took pleasure in making him feel afraid. And making him run and scream. It was like Terrifier. I was like Art the Clown. he would barricade his door, he'd take everything in his room and put it against the door to try to keep his big brother out. This all happened because my parents were at the bar. And you know, when Jared started going through puberty, about the time I was like 16, 17, I changed and I had friends. Just when I started having real friends for the first time in my life. Didn't have a real friend till I was 16 years old. And Jared forgave me. And it was never even a thing. Not until a couple of years ago. When we lived together again. And I don't know, I guess living with me triggered that trauma, and he clung to it. And I just can't stand it. I can't stand it that I'm in my brother's room right now. He shot himself in the chest 2 weeks ago. And here I am in his room. I'm at my parents' house, in my brother's room, and they're all going to get some drinks. Look at me. It's like, get a grip, Julian, be a man, right? I'm usually quite stoic. I was saved on the other side of the... Let me show you. If you look in my videos, like in my songs, like I Love You and Christabel by Indigo Void, which is what I was calling myself. I was over here. Jared wasn't here. I was on the side of that wall being saved by Jesus Christ. And he was in here just remembering. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. And I'm not beating myself up. I just have to show you this. I have to show you. I need to show you everything. Jared didn't show anyone anything. I want to show you everything. Because he felt alone, and it was a lie. He wasn't alone. There's so many people who loved him. And he was shutting people out. He was lying to himself. His pain was not a lie. His pain was very real. But the things that he was telling himself, those were lies. He's sticking pins in himself. You stay here in your trauma. I don't know. I can't believe they're going to get drinks. I should have told my dad, when you look at that beer in your hand, you need to imagine that it's the pistol that shot your son in the chest. Is that too cruel? I already said that to him. I don't know, what do I do? Be graceful. But be honest. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I love my brother. And I can't believe my parents are still going to the bar. Don't they know that if they were just at home raising their little boys, that their boys would have grown up to be strong men? Don't even matter. Don't even make sense thinking like that. One of them did. The other one killed himself. Parents, think about your life and think about what you're doing when you're not with your children. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what I'm just hanging out with you, I guess. Thank you for being my shoulder for me to lean on. I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not the only one with trauma. You're not the only one suffering. Don't hurt yourself. It's okay. It's okay, brothers and sisters. I understand. But the negativity's a lie. It's the devil lying to you. You have to forgive your parents. You have to forgive yourself. And forgive your brothers and sisters. And forgive everybody that ever hurt you. Forgive your ex. All of them. Forgive your friends. You love one another. You love your children more than yourself. If you don't raise them right, they might kill themselves. If someone else don't do it first. I'm not saying it's always the parents' fault, but in this case, I know that preferring the barroom to his sons, man, that's heavy. Is this too, am I being mean, Joseph? Am I being a big meanie? How could I stand in my brother's room? How could I rebuke my dad? Y'all need to get real. I tell you that. Y'all need to get real. Fake ass niggas. Y'all ain't real. Y'all ain't real about nothing. You hear me? You gotta be like Soldier Slim in it. You hear me? You know, I try to have a sense of humor about it. My brother had a really good sense of humor. Maybe the best. I don't know. Could be the best. I just had to tell y'all that. I just had to tell y'all. I've been thinking about it, telling y'all. There's so much I want to tell y'all, but it's like, when do I tell them? I just stop asking when to tell them, and the opportunity presents itself, and here I am. Wanted to tell you something for 5 minutes, now I've told you something for 19. Well, God bless you, brothers and sisters. Please have patience and forgiveness and grace, and make peace.